This is a completely different crew other than Rachel than the last podcast.
That's true. The last podcast we were
How'd it go?
low key.
I didn't listen to it.
You didn't listen to the last one or the one with Bridget? Did you listen to that one?
That was
Bridget?
the last one.
Oh, you know what? I have another one. I have to send to you.
Well, then
Sorry about
I
that.
definitely wrote the title and description wrong.
Whoops. I apologize.
So that one
okay.
was the last week, and then people are gonna be confused.
They are, but the one
Sorry, the 6 people that listen.
with, yeah, I know. It's my fault. It's my fault. The one with Bridget and Kim and
That's why we do no editing.
Scott and Ty. It was a big group, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of different people, different opinions.
Very nice.
Well, just like different experiences, and because we were talking about blessed are the meek, and there's just
yes.
different people that experience that in different ways.
Was it a room of meekness?
No, I don't think so.
So just letting you know, all this room not
Meek.
blessed.
Meek
Not
ways.
blessed.
Bridget brings such good energy to things.
She
all
does.
the time.
She really does. Yeah. I told her. I
She
said,
cheers for people on
Yeah.
Sunday morning.
"Oh, I love it." Is she married yet?
No.
This week? Next
No,
week?
next
Okay,
week.
it's very soon.
Yeah,
Okay.
We're doing the coffee card at it.
their marriage, their wedding's on the right weekend.
On the right weekend. That's nice.
Is there a
That's
wrong
nice.
weekend?
Well, it's
for
also
coffee
my
party.
anniversary weekend.
Oh, nice.
Look at you.
Marriage.
20 years.
80.
Oh, if it feels like 80 and it's been 10. That's not
Tenor.
No, it's 8 times as good.
good. Oh, 8 times is good. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
just think,
good.
they've been married 1/10 of your age.
Oh, you guys. I have to tell you, the
Did you
podcast
say
without
she's
you
100?
It
were...
was so great. It was so great.
We missed you so
If you go back and watch
much.
the video, Rachel's just calm and happy the whole time.
Yeah, without us, do you cry more or less?
Far less.
Really?
Oh,
You don't have it's different feelings
So
without
we make you
guys.
cry.
It's different. I don't know if that's
There's,
complimentary.
There's more
It's different.
stressful feelings without you guys. There's a lot of things that have to happen.
Well, you
that
like
you
it. You
normally,
like
but
when
I'm
things are
okay with that.
stressful.
I don't mind it, and
Yeah.
it's not. Those don't make me cry. Overwhelm does make me cry though, but you guys you bring a different dynamic.
You're different. You're
Oh
different.
man, this is going well. I'm
Let's-
glad you're back.
Before we jump into the Beatitudes, Rich, you want to talk about these bells?
oh yeah.
Tell the story.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Have you heard this story
I
yet?
don't. I haven't.
Unwrap one.
They sound so good.
Do they?
Yeah.
It sounds so good.
The dinger is stuck.
Silent. Oh, there you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you'll notice I gotta hold the dinger. It's gonna be really, really annoying. All right, Greg, come back. I gotta tell a heartfelt story
Yeah.
now. Gregory, come back.
It's better if he stays away
Okay.
for a minute.
The dinger. We need to restart.
Holding the dinger. Yes.
Oh,
For the audio only listeners.
they're just laughing and hearing dinging.
Estonian flag.
Estonian flag on one side. It says Tallinn in Estonia, and it spins. I hope. The very first person I met in Estonia, his name was Osvaldo. And I walked up to him and said, "Oh, stuck out my hand to shake it." And he goes, "I'm Osvaldo." And I said, "Good to meet you. I'm Rich." And he just goes, "Good for you." And that moment was everyone laughed around us and not around us because it was loud.
He
And
was
then
so
I met.
ready for that. He was
It was.
ready.
It was wonderful. Yeah. And then we met his wife Kylie, who was also there. She's from Estonia. He's from Chile. And over the next 48 hours, we saw them a lot. They came to meals with us. We hung out. Kylie came to both the leadership sessions and the business session. And we grew a real fun friendship and relationship there. And then on our last day, they showed up at the door of our Airbnb with some gifts. 6 of these little Estonian, oh no, the flag went away. Little Estonian bells And what they said was, we know you have 5 coffee shops in the States. And this is one bell for each coffee shop. So when people come up to the counter, if they need to have, they need something, they can ring the bell. And he goes, and we're going to hold on to this 6th one for when you come over and start one here.
Oh.
And it was just such a cool moment. And this
Grabbed it out of our hands.
grab it. This is ours. We're gonna hold on to it. But it was incredible because it was a relationship, friendship, connection moment across hours and miles, and it was the whole trip was worth it for that one moment for me. But yeah, so if you go into a coffee shop and you see these little bells, that's what it's for. Be sure to ring it a bunch of times because the baristas will love it.
They will love it.
Oh,
Maybe you
man.
should put the dinger stopper back in there.
Got it. Good for you. Osvaldo, I hope you're listening. We need to eat food in Chile soon.
Yeah. See.
He said see a lot.
The
So that's the bells.
Made it their heartfelt story.
well,
You were holding the dinger.
Yeah, for most of it.
today we're coming to Blessed are the
mercy.
merciful.
Yes.
merciful being this act, the act of grace,
Act of compassion.
act of compassion.
Mhm.
Mm. And I think that this is a unique in the Beatitudes. It's wouldn't it be great if blessed are the persecuted because then you get to persecute?
Oh man.
No, that's not right. But this beatitude is blessed are the merciful because you'll receive mercy. And I do think it's interesting. The giving and receiving of mercy are totally different experiences. I mean, they're compartmentalized. We're gonna mention a little bit of this parable that Jesus shares. Peter comes up to Jesus and says, "How many times do I have to forgive my stupid brother?"
Yeah.
And then from that, Jesus shares a parable of a person who's forgiven of the massive amount of debt, and then the next moment, like still celebrating this debt being forgiven, condemns, beats up, imprisons somebody who has just owes them a little bit of money. And so I just been trying to process thinking about this is why is there so much disconnect on the giving or the receiving and the giving of mercy? And maybe that's true for everything, but it's that why is there that disconnect?
I wonder if sometimes we don't realize how much mercy we receive. Like it's really easy to, not just from like God, but from each other and people,
Yeah.
like it's easy to see what, like that whole plank in other people's eyes. It's easy to see what's happening and what frustrates you about somebody else, but maybe it's a little harder to see how you're frustrating or causing pain or
Why do
require
you
mercy.
keep looking at me?
I'm
Causing
Causing
pain.
pain. Require. No, I wasn't. But I wasn't.
You can't
I
lie.
wasn't.
Lying is
I
also
was talking to you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. But like I do think that's easy. Like not especially, but for like my kids sometimes, I don't think they always can see like how they're kind of getting in that teen phase, and they don't always see how things impact other people.
Yeah.
Because they're kids, their brains aren't wired that way yet. But like it's easy for them to kind of go about life and not realize, like when you even though I'm your mom, when you talk to me that way, it still impacts me. Like I'm human. I wish that it didn't bother me, but like that humanity and like when you talk to your friends like that, or you send like even like small things like sending, like texts. Like if you don't know how to text well, you can be really cutting on a text. And like I don't know, I think that it's easy to not recognize how much mercy is required in day-to-day living.
Yeah. Well, and if is it still mercy if you say to somebody, just to let you know,
Mhm.
I'm giving you mercy right now? Is that remove the reality of mercy, or is that
I mean,
no?
yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think that's a different
Different issue.
A different issue.
I think if you're using it as a way to like backhandedly,
Yeah,
Yeah.
then it's not really mercy.
Mhm.
You're
because then it's about you. It's what you're receiving.
you're getting something out of it.
Yeah. I think too, it's like these are small things, but like there's obviously much bigger issues. But what does like active compassion look like? Like what is even like I still feel like I like that word compassion. Like, you know, I think about empathy and compassion and like what does compassion look like? What does that mean?
But we used a video clip a couple years ago about compassion looks at somebody down in the. It was like a stupid animation of a bear or something, but like a person looks down into a hole and says, "Oh no, you're down in this hole. Let me help
Oh,
you
yeah.
out."
That was a good video.
That's compassion.
Mhm.
And empathy is, I'm going to climb down in the hole and I'm going to sit with you.
Yeah.
And those are kind of the differences. And so sometimes people need empathy. Is not less than. It's
just
just
different.
it's very different. But you to go where somebody is and say, "Listen, I'm not going to try to fix this. Or I'm not going to try to even address this. I'm just going to sit with you in it." Empathy.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
compassion is to go. You, they usually should go together to a
Yeah.
degree, but compassion, active compassion, is to see somebody in that pit, whatever that is, and to acknowledge that they're there and to go, I will help you.
Mhm.
And so when we say so that's where it's like sometimes we think unactive compassion is looking down into the hole, not having empathy and sitting with them, but looking down there and going, "Oh, it's too bad you're in there. Let me know if you need something," and then
Right.
walking away instead of actively helping them.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
sitting and declaring it's terrible.
Mhm.
That's yeah.
It makes me go like like I mean, sorry. Just thinking about like the easier things again, like just thinking about the kids and thinking about active compassion with those moments. I'm trying to understand. Maybe I don't know where I'm going. Never mind.
Well, I think that so I mean, there's helping or training or equipping others
Yeah.
to have it. I think that just thinking about myself is that if you're told you better be merciful to me or to better
Yeah.
be merciful to somebody else, there are. I just see mercy as almost like a character trait,
Yeah.
or part of having good character. You can be, maybe it can be like forced out on occasion, but I think that the story of Peter is a great illustrator of it. Is that Jesus doesn't go, how many times I've forgiven my brother? Peter doesn't, or Jesus
Yeah.
doesn't then force. He draws this picture. Like, it doesn't make any sense that you'd be forgiven of so many things, Peter.
Yeah.
and that
You
Peter, each of us, but you have big issues, and here you are. You're so upset about 7 little things.
Yeah.
And so to have perspective, and so that seems like that's the whole theme. We're going to ask, like, kind of towards the end of this text, to ask that question: why is there a repetitive connection between showing mercy and receiving mercy?
Right.
Or having mercy and receiving mercy? Like, this is a biblical theme.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that in order to have grace and mercy are not about being deserved. And so how do you generate or create or do something that's not deserved? Because that's like the price analysis. I'm not going to extend you mercy because you're not worthy of it. That's if you end at that,
Right.
it's never going to work. And Jesus looks at us, God, in His relationship with us. He doesn't just see us as broken. He sees that we're created in His image. He loves us beyond measure. And talk about a perspective to aim for. When Jesus says, "Love one another as I've loved you," it's that He was continually merciful to the end. And for us to have that and not to go, is this person worthy of mercy or not? That equation never works.
How do you feel like you grow in mercy? Like, I mean, because it can say, "Blessed are the merciful," and like I think we choose it, like we can make choice, but I also think like there's some life circumstances that can cause us to grow in mercy.
Or
What does that
or
look like?
lose it.
Yeah,
right?
or lose mercy. Yeah, both ways for
Yeah.
sure.
Yesterday, I was with a group of pastors, and they asked the question, "So, are you guys doing anything this Sunday for the 5-year anniversary of George Floyd?"
Hmm.
And I felt like this wave of like, apparently PTSD is real.
Yeah.
It's so weird. And I think that there are circumstances, situations in life where I felt like there was so much opportunity to like think my perspective grew and opportunity for mercy, but there was also these selective moments where I felt like I was like mercy, empathy grew a lot and also disappeared in some sections in that season, which is I know that's not really what you're asking, but
Oh, that's
I feel like, hey, I feel like I grew a lot in mercy in 2020, and I also selectively let it die.
Mhm.
But so growth.
How do you? I mean, like, what do you do with that? Like with the, because I feel like there's just like hard moments where kind of almost to get through, you let mercy die. It's this whole like, how do I shut this down so I can get to the other side? But like, I don't think we want to stay in that. So how do you move from one side to the other?
Well, Jesus says, recognize what you're receiving.
Yeah.
I think you have to. Mercy gets weird when you view yourself too highly or too lowly.
Yeah.
So that's tough. And then also, mercy gets weird when you view others too highly or too lowly.
Right.
That's a good point.
It's self perspective, but it's also perspective of others. Working on those things.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Rich.
Nothing. I just got an email that's important. I'll tell you guys about it afterwards.
I think
He's over there smiling.
I think
know.
I thought I said something really good.
I thought
You
said
did. I was
really good.
listening.
I was listening, and I liked it.
early in our conversation, I like the process of asking people, like, ask what would you get for a gift, for $10, $100, $1,000. Like, what would you ask for? If you have to ask for it, it's in like, maybe this exercise is too fictitious and it actually is easy, but if you had to, somebody somebody you loved, you cared for, says, "I'm gonna get you $1,000 gift," what do you want? I mean, I feel like there's all kinds of talk about the value, overvaluing and undervaluing yourself. In that moment, you'd go like, I can feel myself like, you are not giving me $1,000 gift. You're not. That's stupid. Amazon gift card is fine, but
I'm gonna get $1,000 laser engraver. See that band?
He's gonna get a Nebula.
But but I think this is true for mercy, is that if we receiving it, like you can say, I have issues giving it, but also we often have issues receiving it as well.
I think this is going to be cliche, but it's what's in my head. People talk about hurt people, or serve people, or whatever. I think people who show mercy receive mercy. I think they grow together. And for some of us, they like will give mercy, and then the other one grows slower, but there's still it's still connected. There's still something there.
There's like
I
the
think.
there's like the Christian churchy pastor answer, like how do you go in mercy? Well, you gotta recognize that God gave you mercy. And I just like true, but also like roll my eyes a little bit of like, okay, like whatever. But I think if we truly believe that people, real people, the church is God's hands and feet, when you do that process of seeing where you've been given mercy, don't it's yes, it is the cross, but it's also the people around you
Mhm.
that are doing God's work by showing you mercy.
Yeah.
You go, oh, I did this wrong, or I was stupid, or I did this thing, and that this real person, this real instant, that person was God's hands in the way that they showed me mercy. Like that is way more tangible to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and build the habit of seeing it.
Yeah.
Acknowledging it, thanking it. That's
Mercy's in God's playlist.
I think too, like the more, like I think sometimes we feel like we have to have everything together to do something. Like I have to have myself together to like pastor or to lead something or to do this. Like I have to have all my stuff figured out. But like truthfully, when we're stepping out into something new, like that's when you make the most mistakes because it's new and it's a stretch and it's like maybe it's something you haven't done before and you require almost more mercy because you're going to make more mistakes.
It's
Figure
almost-
it out.
We should almost celebrate that of like,
Yeah.
you know, being a pastor, your life is inherently a little more public than other people. And so but I love when we can be real and be like, man, and did you see the mercy that I was given by these people
Yeah.
when I screwed this up? That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wait, and mercy is not just about like some, when you're alluding to this, it's not some malicious failure.
Mhm.
No.
Mercy is
Can be. But
can be, yeah, but often like the most repetitive mercy is it's the accidental, it's the unintentional, it's the you know, the minuscule, that moment when you go, yeah, they were a few minutes late, I'm done with them, like, oh, that was very merciful.
it's
It's
choosing,
in a relationship, but go ahead.
No, I
Sorry.
was just gonna say it's choosing to continue to see somebody in God's image despite the fact that sometimes they're not God's image.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's like the daily living of family, life, neighbors, you know, the people you're around the most. It's like that's the practice of those are the moments of mercy that you have to like that really do grow in us because those are they see you the most and you see them the most. So like, you know, like when your spouse is grumpy, not that mine ever is, but other people's spouses are grumpy or I'm grumpy.
Good save. Good save.
Yeah. Like, you know, like having mercy in that moment, like that's important because that like feeds into the marriage, it feeds into your relationship, it helps everything. And I feel like those are those daily moments where we can grow in just the daily relationships, the repetitiveness. And it might feel small because it's like those small things that happen, but I feel like in those small moments, it can grow to bigger moments of mercy with.
Do you think commitment to relationship makes mercy easier? Like I feel like sometimes you go like, well, I'm committed to this thing anyways, so I should just figure out how to
Yeah, a
work
little
through
bit.
this.
I think
Yes.
it makes it harder, but paired with caring, it makes it worth it. Yeah. I think it's harder.
Yeah, I think that in closeness of relationship, I think it's for me. I think it can be easy for me to be less merciful to people that I'm closer to than I am just into that.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Or
Love you
maybe
guys.
it's it might not be
I love
less.
you guys.
It might not be less. It's just more quantity.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think
a
it's
good point.
less because like somebody
You just see
somebody that cuts you off on the road, whatever, you don't they're idiots.
There's not a lot of mercy there.
There's no mercy there, whatever. But
I get what you're saying.
But Scott
though.
cuts
like,
you off on the road.
I feel like
But I think like in like I mean, just because when we talk about commitment, I think about marriage automatically. But like, there's things that like it's that like the person you live with, they're gonna struggle with this, and so like that struggle may not go away. So like, it's easier in those moments to go, okay, like I know this is true and it's gonna happen, and like I have to. If I don't have mercy in that,
I guess
then-
I think what I'm trying to like say is that commitment to anybody, a really good
Yeah.
friend, a parent, a spouse, that commitment is mercy.
There's a reason why many wedding vows have for better or worse in them.
yeah.
I don't know what you mean.
I don't either. Yeah. What are you talking about? Anna? No, I'm just kidding.
And as a merciful person.
So
I do
know.
my
I do think
you know.
that I mean, this just hearing all this, processing this, is that thinking about this call, blessed. It's so Jesus is on a roll, but blessed are the merciful, and seeing that as let that be 100 little things.
Mhm.
Mercy is not proportional to scale. The value of mercy is not proportional to scale.
Yeah.
So you can say this person really screwed up, and I'm going to show them mercy. This is really valuable mercy. Yes, but also when when I am snappy about something, the people that I care about, cumulative, the value of being merciful as opposed to being whatever I am is the little is so valuable.
Well, I feel like the more we talk about it, the more I'm getting this like idea that mercy is it's not a sliding scale. It's you're either merciful or you're not. You can't be a little merciful.
That's the same true of
in the big situations, little situations, you're either merciful or you're not.
That's the worst.
Yeah, I was kind of merciful.
Yeah.
I showed a little mercy.
Yeah, and couple that together with their culture in the initial hearers of this, but also in us as well, is that there is there's a cultural value to showing people no mercy like that.
Yeah.
That's a power dynamic that especially again, like this is the weird definer. It's like show no mercy to those that don't deserve it. And that's Jesus said, this tells this parable, the person who's forgiven of it's 10,000 bags of gold. It's such a stupid, like the point of it is to go like, okay, how could he even get that much debt? It doesn't even make any sense.
What was
And
he
so-
doing?
And so,
Scrooge McDuck.
and then the next moment for somebody who's like, it's like a soda. And so with this thing is that it does not, mercy is not this deserved. It does not make sense if it's logical. You have to.
Again, there's like also that power dynamic, like of somebody, like the ability to show mercy is, I mean, I don't think it's just that, but it is like the person that has the power being willing to let go of power to show mercy to somebody. Like, I do feel like there's a lot of times in the Bible where we're asked to give up power and asked to give up our rights and asked to like let go of things. And like sometimes it's really tough, but I do think over and over again that like humbling of ourselves where we're willing to do that is really important.
Yep. And this is, we have to remember, this is the precursor. A couple minutes down the road, Jesus is going to go, it's great that you love people that love you, but I'm asking you to love those that hate you.
Yeah.
With the person who slaps you on the cheek, you don't hit them back. That's what, but ask you to turn the other cheek and let them hit the other one. If somebody asks you to carry their bag, go farther. And so, what an introduction.
I like it.
Mhm.
Do you have a wrap up?
You didn't see the song.
Rich's wrap up.
Thank you.
I think
I had jazz hands.
You see that?
nice. Greg's binary switch of mercy, I think, makes sense. That there's either mercy or there's not. And Scott's, I know Greg talked about this too, but Scott brought, but the overtime of mercy means that people who are around us the most see us at our most merciful and at our least merciful.
Mhm.
But I think the do of the ambulance happens a lot with the people around us, but then the be comes out. I'm on the roll today with speaking, but the being comes out with everybody else,
Hmm.
and then also with the people around, because the doing mercy slowly but surely grows our being merciful.
Mhm.
And I think that that's important. And we're gonna not be merciful a lot, and we're gonna be merciful, hopefully, more, and eventually that tips.
Yeah.
And that's growth. And I think that looking at it and going, we should be merciful, not because we will receive mercy, but because Jesus said, "Be merciful,"
Mhm.
and then we will receive mercy. And that's pretty. And by pretty, I mean beautiful.
See you guys next week.
See you.